Hello. Next haircut we're about to do. My client here usually gets 6, but he wanted to go shorter today. I'm pretty sure this is a 4 on top. Um, by the length of his hair on the sides, I'd say it's been like 2, 3 weeks. And we're about to do a mid fade, mid skin fade, but no C cup. So you could call it a high fade, but I call it a mid fade because I drop it with the opposite of the bone. You'll see here. I start back here where I touch the bone and I go right below the bone. You'll feel the bone. You're kind of like finding the skull, and then you make the line based on that. That is really how you make the best fades. Is where you put your bald guideline in. You need to know how to shape the haircut to the head shape. And here for the beard, this is where I start every beard guideline. I don't know what the ear part is called, but that little ear thing is where I put the guideline for the beard bald line. And I always put in my guideline with the clipper closed because it's easier for me to get the line out. And I just cut everything under it with a closer cut. So I use a trimmer right under the clipper guideline. I use a trimmer, and then I'm going to come back over with the bald shavers. These trimmers right here, smooth as butter. I love these trimmers. Stylecraft Sabers. I love these trimmers. I used to have them in gold. I got them in black. My whole arsenal is basically black, except for the shavers. The shavers I have now, the best I've ever had. I used to have the Enda shavers, but now I got the Babyliss Pro shavers. And I'm showing you here where the guideline is going to be. It's basically like the same as any other guideline, like a pinky length, finger width. Well, yeah, I try to make that line first, then I just shave everything under it. You want to shave, make sure it's smooth, make sure it's even. Pay attention to all the little follicles there. Same idea with the beard and the side. Now, when you take that line out, I like to tap downwards. You're going to see me tap downwards like that. And you'll take out most of the line, but after you tap it down, you want to flick out a little bit just to take out the rest of the line. But you don't want to do too much, or else you're going to risk bringing the fade up. So you really want to make sure that you're tapping the whole time with the shavers, because the shavers are powerful, man. Like, these shavers are great. Best shavers I ever had. You want to make sure you use them right, because you could mess up your whole entire fade if you use them wrong. Now I'm fading the beard. I always start with that trimmer just a little bit below, because you want to get that bald line out. And this is basically like the same as the side of the haircut. You know, no guard halfway, no guard close. I mean, think of it like I like to think of it like a door stopper, you know, or a ramp. Tony Hawk Pro Skater, whatever, like a ramp. The smallest part of the ramp is the skin, and then the tallest part of the ramp is the beard. So that's how I go about my fades. You can call it a ladder, you can call it a ramp, but it's just step by step, going slowly, bigger and bigger. You know, it's nothing to it but to do it, man. Like, just don't overcomplicate it. And if you're worried about going too short, then go bigger. Open your guard, open your lever, go a guard higher. Don't do too much too fast and then regret it, because you can't put the hair back. Hair grows back, yeah, but that's 2 weeks later. You want to make sure this haircut is perfect right now. So hair doesn't grow back, or you can't put hair back. So just doing the detail work here right now. It's basically done. Just doing the little things. The dark to light transition is what a fade is. So I'm looking at the dark spots where it's supposed to be light, or the light spots where it's supposed to be dark. Well, technically, it can't be light where it's supposed to be dark, because then that means you went too high or too low. So, yeah, in order to do the fade right, you have to look for the dark spots where it's supposed to be light. Now I'm about to do the 1.5 guideline. I base this line off of where... I don't really know how big I make it. I would say that's like 1.5 inches or something like that. I don't know. Maybe an inch, but... yeah, I did a 1.5 guideline, and then the 2 open, because the top's a 4, so the 2 open is going to get most of that hair out of there. And then we're going to play around with the 2 closed and the 1.5 open, the 1.5 closed, and then on the top ridge there, you can, where the parietal ridge is, you can get the 3, play around to 3. At the end of the cut, if I do it. Sometimes I don't need to do it, but you'll see me use the thinning shears. I always do it, but sometimes it's the fade's already faded. You don't need to do too much. But if the 2 and the 3 can't take out that line going into the 4, then you can use your thinning shears. I mean, if you see how I'm going back and forth, basically over the same spots. It's because I see dark spots where it's supposed to be light. You know, a fade, the essential fade, the best fade you ever see. The reason why it's the best fade you've ever seen, whoever's fade it is because you don't see any lines and the blend is even throughout the head. So where it's light, it's all light. Where it's dark, it's all dark. So you're not going to have any impurities, any dark spots in the fade. So now I'm using the half guard. Basically the same length as the 1.5 guard guideline, but I'm just doing that. I do that first line just to have a gauge, and then I open it and just flick it up. I flick it up because the hair's not that long, so I know there's like more room. There's more room for error, so I'm not gonna it's almost like a rough draft because I know I'm gonna go back in there with that one guard closed, one guard open to make it very, very neat. But that's why when I first put that half guideline in, the half guard guideline, I make it straight because I know I'm coming back in with the 1.5 anyway and the 1. So yeah, I mean the fade. Every time you do a guideline, you're not gonna expect to have the haircut perfect or the guideline perfect. You want to make sure all the hairs are cut evenly, and you want to make sure it's as best as you possibly can. But you can't expect your fade to be done once you put a few guidelines in. Now this is the last guideline I'm gonna do. This is the no guard open. This is basically it. Home stretch. I'm trying to get to the baldness of it, and that's almost bald, but it's not. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm trying to be even first, and then I'm gonna start flicking out using my corners. You know, when you use your corners, you tilt the clipper, but you don't want to use the whole blade because you risk bringing the fade up. So make sure that you make that first guideline neat, and once you start flicking out, don't use your whole blade, use your corners. Now, if you're good like that, if you see all these viral videos, dudes just fading in 2 or 3 strokes, go ahead, do it. But that's not what I'm about to do. I can't do that. And I really don't want to do that. That's pretty cool, but it doesn't look as fun. I like the way this works. It's very methodical, and the steps are very, it's just thorough and laid out, and it makes it exciting for me to have to go back and forth between the lever system and the guard system and to understand how the fade works. Right now I'm playing with the half guard because, the half guard close is right above the no guard open. You got to understand the guard system. If you understand the guard system, your fades will come out a lot better because you'll know how to get certain lines out that are just stubborn. I remember when I first started cutting hair, I couldn't take out that line between the 1 guard closed and the 2 guard closed. I didn't have a half guard, so I didn't really know what to do. But as I grew and started cutting more hair, everything started to make more sense. This is called down fading. So basically down fading is when you start with the highest guard and you fade all the way down to the bald. The reason why I start with the bald guideline though first is because you want to have that set structure, that basically you don't want to go below this line or above this line. That's why I start off with the guideline after I debulk. So I'm basically fading towards the middle, but it's still a form of down fading. And I love the way this fade came out. His fades always come out dope. Shout out to Mike. He's actually the one that told me to start recording for YouTube and making these videos. So shout out to him. You got to understand the fade system to know where you are in the fade. Because if you're just mindlessly cutting hair, paying attention to the guards and the guard system and, I should go up this high, don't go up too high. Like you're never going to get that fade right because you don't understand truthfully how it works. When you understand the system forward and back, you're allowed to be creative. You can make your own ways to fade. It's not just one way to fade and that's it, When you understand the system and you understand what a fade is and how it's supposed to look, you don't have to do it one way. There's many different types of way to fade. It's like a big lake with a bunch of rivers flowing to it. It's all gonna take you to the same destination. As long as that destination is the same, it really doesn't matter how you fade. But I'm giving you my my advice and my tips because this is what works for me and this is how my haircuts come out the way they do. But you don't have to do exactly what I do. I mean, I remember I used to watch 360 Jeezy. I used his guideline steps for a long time, and then I would watch Get Beamed or Chris Basio or Game Changer, and they all have different fading methods. I mean, look, man, it's whatever works for you. The only way to tell what works for you is just get into the shop and cut hair. I mean, there's no other way to get around it. You can't learn how to cut hair without cutting hair. You can watch all the videos you want, but eventually you got to do it yourself. So you got to get into the shop or get out there, get your name out there, hand out your business cards, whatever you got to do, man. Text, DM your boys, whatever you got to do. You just got to do something. You can't just act like it's going to come by watching videos. You got to actually try. Thank God I have my little brothers to practice on, and now I'm just lining up the beard. I'm cleaning the strays right here. You see I'm just hovering over the beard, cleaning up the stray hairs there. You want to make sure you clean up the stray hairs for a beard to make a beard come out extra sharp, extra right, and it pops all that much more. Now, this is how you know it's not OCD, but it's me just trying to be as good as I can. There's always something I see, and I always go back. Don't ever think that, oh, I stopped my steps, I can't go back to the fade. No, you can always go back to the fade. Now here, I like to shave under the neck with guys who have a really crazy neck beard. Shout out to this blade company. I'm pretty sure it's from the Dominican Republic. The best blades I've ever used. The best blades by far. These blades are so smooth. Yes, I still use the magic razor. I don't see a problem with it. I've been told I should change, but I really do enjoy it. It's super simple. I mean, it's the razor that does the work, not the razor holder. So I really like it. But yeah, you just want to stretch the skin. Make sure you stretch the skin. Make sure your client doesn't move, has his head up. Have a lot of gel there. That 245 gel is very good to apply hydration for the skin so it doesn't irritate when I use the razor. Boom! Now you see, wow, that looked crazy. Now you see why, man, I don't even know what to say. Now you see that this works, bro. I hope you guys learned something today. If you did, share this with your boys, share this with your boyfriends, your brothers, your fathers, I don't know. Thank you for watching. God bless you, man. Be safe.